This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
And hello, everybody, here for a special edition of iRacing, and it's going to be something special tonight. It's the RVD CBD Challenge Cup here tonight, coming to you from Crandon International Raceway. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Arnold, joined alongside Joshua Lee with our special guest in-house tonight with Andrew Carlson, and looking forward to some incredible racing, guys.
Dave, this is going to be a huge race because there's nothing else really like it on the iRacing service. Pro 2s up against Pro 4s in a once-in-a-lifetime kind of event. We've done a couple of these, and the last few times the Pro 4s have either caught the Pro 2s or have been very, very close. It's going to be interesting to see how it happens tonight.
Well, one man who's got an opinion, who's been in this position in real life, Andrew Carlson. Andrew, what are your thoughts about tonight?
Oh man, I'm not racing and I'm still getting little butterflies because I know what it's like to line up with in the Pro 4 spot and in the Pro 2, and this is it's a lot of pressure, and you just gotta hope you can get out front and run clean. So it's gonna be for sure good racing.
It's one of those where you're always looking over your shoulders when you're in a Pro 2, and when you're in the Pro 4, you're in the hunt mode. And I'll tell you, these Pro 4s, where you point them and you stick them, they're going to go. Pro 2's a little bit looser to drive. And, you know, it's going to make it for an exciting mix-up here. Seen the Pro 2s win before, but pretty much I think the odds favor the Pro 4 class.
Yeah, it's more when, not if, for sure.
Well, looking at the weather conditions here in Crandon, it looks like we've moved straight into hot, sticky summertime, 103 degrees. Oh boy, you could swim through that air there. And in real life, I know it affects the vehicles running. I don't know if they've taken that into account here for iRacing. So we're taking a look at it there just a second and showing around what it is. But it looks like we're ready for a little bit of qualifying here. Okay.
Qualifying just beginning here at Crandon. Lone qualifying here for both the Pro 4s and the Pro 2s. Now we're expecting those Pro 4s obviously to be a good bit faster than the Pro 2s. And we'll see exactly where each of them will line up in the special starting procedure that is also special for Crandon, being the land rush start here on the iRacing service, but we do it a little bit differently as it is the Pro 4s trying to catch the Pro 2 trucks. So the Pro 2s will start a good 30 seconds before the Pro 4s are let loose. So that means it is going to be a cat and mouse game all day long as the first couple of trucks make their way across the start-finish line, take their first flying laps of Crandon, the long configuration here at the Crandon International Raceway. Used to seeing the short course, about 5 turns. This one is a solid 10 turns all around and huge straightaways, a very tight hairpin. And we're going to see these first couple of times start to work their way in. Cole Ashlock almost lost his number 4 Pro 4 coming off of the corner, that hairpin that I was just talking about. And a couple of cars waiting to finish their first times as we get ready to go, and taking a look at Bodie Cryer in the 5, making his way now through that hairpin, slingshotting down the straightaway.
And one of the things about that hairpin you're talking about, it's been named a couple times, but now it is in the memory of Cowboy, the man who has started every race at Crandon since its conception. And one thing about the Challenge Cup, it has a long historic history, going back to the Borg Warner Cup, the days of early, to the Amsoil Cup, and finished it up also with the Lucas Oil Cup. They still do the Challenge Cup to this day, which they're going to be doing in the Champ Off-Road Racing Series.
First time's coming up. Luke Knopp, top of the board, 117.23. And Gary Green, the first to come in for the Pro 2 class. Joshua Gaiman once again for the Pro 2s. And there's Josh Edmondson. He is one of the fastest drivers in the sim behind the wheel. That number 58 for Jim Beaver Esports, taking part in the Pro 2s here in the Challenge Cup. He comes across the line a 119.5, a great lap.
Well, very quick. Edmondson always fast out there. One to keep an eye on there is Knupp. Swain has been showing a lot of speed come lately. And Gary Green really surprised us, did a good showing when he was running in Long Beach, but that was on the asphalt. Now we're here in Crandon on the dirt. It's a whole nother animal.
Taking a look at Bodie Cryer in the 5 as he makes his way through the corner. And he's going to go back into the final couple of corners on this track. Luke Knopp goes to the top of the board, though, in the 77, a 117.24. Those Pro 4 names starting to work their way back up to the top of the leaderboard. And just taking a look at the 77 of Luke Knopp, you can see how much different that Pro 4 handles than the Pro 2s. He's able to swing it into every corner, and it just looks like it sticks down there, Dave. Doesn't even require any fight.
Oh, definitely. And of course, when you got those front claws digging into the dirt, pulling you around the corner with the rear pushing you, you're definitely going to want to put that, you'll be able to put it where you want it and push through that turn.
Luke making a little mistake there in cowboy turn. Looked like he ended that lap. But yeah, like you were saying, you got to run the bottom in the Pro 4. The shorter distance is shorter lap time. So, yeah, definitely going to be. That's part of the thing too. When the Pro 4s catch them, they can run the bottom, and it makes it real easy to pass. So, it'll
I know
sure be interesting.
I know I can explain it a little bit, but I think, Andrew, you could really put it into perspective, the different style of driving between a Pro 2 and a Pro 4, and of course, a lot of people don't realize these are not full-time four-wheel drives. You have to have that front end disengage to help you rotate. But with the gas getting back on it, that's going to engage it and pull you through the turn. But your approach, you can kind of explain the difference on it.
Yeah, for sure. The Pro 4, you want to be clipping the grass with the inside tire, and then get the thing rotated. They don't like to turn, like you said, just being in four-wheel drive. So you got to get them, got to be a little aggressive with them, get them turned, and then once you touch that loud pedal, they go straight. So, just waiting, being patient. A lot of times, like in the view we're getting right now, you just want to wait till you can see down the straightaway, and then hammer it down. And like we were saying, in that Pro 2, it's super hard to know that they're coming. You want to protect your line, but it's actually the worst thing you can do because you're so much slower on the bottom. You got to run your line and hope they don't put you in the rhubarb.
And you got to make sure you set up that apex correctly, not too high, not too low.
Yes, for sure. So a lot of stuff going on, and it obviously changes with 90-degree corners and 180s and all that. But maybe turn 1's really one of the only corners where you have pretty much the same line in both trucks. But other than that, it's a totally different approach.
And of course, that's the famous Forest County Potawatomi turn number 1, right off that start when they get going. And we see some of the highest speeds, but also some of the highest dangers, and whether it's here in iRacing or in real life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, coming from the real life side, that's the one thing that iRacing nailed is how scary that turn 1 is, and especially in the sim, you have no idea what's going to happen when you go in there, and you're kind of just trying to make sure you're holding her wide open, but at the same time, just come through unscathed.
Well, qualifying still underway. It looks like Cam Peterson back up on top right now, 16/10 of a second behind Luke Knupp, with Connor, Barry, Ambrosius, Cryer, Booth, Bush, Kirchmeyer, Edmondson, and Mikey Lawrence running out our top 10.
Yeah, Josh running some really quick times in that Pro 2, even beating a few of the Pro 2s, or a few of the Pro 4s. So that's super impressive.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And
You know what
Edmondson punching his way into those Pro 4 times is going to be a real indicator of what we're going to see in the race coming up in just a few short minutes. With Edmondson being faster than not just one, but two of the Pro 4s, we could see those Pro 4s we could see those Pro 2s really take to the front. And we might not see any Pro 4s catch up coming into the race. Usually we see those Pro 4s start to catch up about mid to end of the race during the Challenge Cup. We might see these Pro 2s knocking a win and block those Pro 4 drivers from entering their leaderboard.
Well, a lot of the times, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Andrew.
A lot of this, too, it's one thing in qualifying when everyone's out here by themselves. I mean, they can go run a 16.9 or a 1:16.9, but you do that in traffic, and it doesn't take much to slow that down. So, you know, something like having Luke and Cameron battle it out in the Pro 4s, that could do nothing but favors for Josh. So if Josh is truly on that much of another page, he's at least a half second faster than everybody else. If he can just get through that first turn quick and check out, that's the best thing that can happen for him.
And of course, we've always seen that qualifying doesn't denote how the race is going to finish. The fastest guy in qualifying doesn't always take that checkered flag first because, like Andrew mentioned, traffic and a lot of other drivers are going for that same spot.
Yeah, it for sure should be interesting. It's the Cup race is racing in general is already super exciting, and now you throw the twist in 2s versus 4 and the time gap and different ways of attacking the track. It's going to be a handful, but super fun to watch.
And another variable that I wanted to bring up, guys, is the fact that we're going to see a changing racetrack throughout the race. Usually on iRacing in the official sessions, it'll start at a single track state during the practice, the warm-up, or before the race, but then it'll gradually wear in and see no resets. We're going to see a reset to a clean track state before we go green. So it's going to be completely clean out there on the racetrack, a lot of grip, but as this race goes on, and Andrew can attest to this, that track's going to start changing, start to groove in. It's going to get incredibly slick.
Yeah, and that's always one thing too that affects each truck differently. Sometimes the track coming in makes the line longer for the Pro 2s, and the Pro 4s, it might make them faster because they can rotate easier or whatever. A lot of it comes down to setup and driver preference, but the track is definitely noticeable as it wears in, and it a lot of times comes down to who can adapt the most.
And of course, we see in real life a lot with the blue groove, the rubber being laid down. Sometimes that helps the Pro 2s out. They get a little bit more traction because, sometimes it's like driving on ice on a fresh track with a Pro 2.
For sure.
Taking a look at that Pro 4 starting grid. No surprise up at the top. Cameron Peterson grabs the pole with a 1:16.966. It's Luke Knopp, James Ambrosius, Connor Berry, and Bodie Cryer rounding out your top 5 with William Booth, Taylor Bush, Cross Kirchmeyer, Mikey Lawrence, and Sean Stratton. Going to round out your 10 Pro 4s on the grid. And here's the Pro 2s. Josh Edmondson with the pole there. Josh Fox, Zachary Drapkin, Cole Ashlock, Keaton Swain, Gary Green, Joshua Gaiman, Tyson Miller, and Nick Nowak. Gonna round out the 9 cars taking the green in the Pro 2s. And here we go with this special starting procedure. Pro 2s will start before the Pro 4s on a race control green flag.
All right, waiting for them to all stage in here. Looks like everybody's tucking in nice and tight right now. Waiting for the counter to go up here. Watching for the countdown of the lights to green. We should have had an animated.
Giving it in the Discord.
We're waiting for them to get all stuck up.
Pro 2s to get staged ahead of the Pro 4s to avoid incidents back there. And then once race control is happy with it, they're going to give that green flag. You can see a couple of the Pro 2s getting staged and ready. The Pro 4s moving to the back row before we end up with that green flag. Everybody just waiting to get into position so the race control can give that green flag, send these Pro 2s off, and remember, 30 seconds in between the Pro 2s and the Pro 4s taking the green.
Are we seeing a little bit of net coating going on there, it looks like? As you're starting ready to stage those Pro 2s, it looks like that fistful of bourbon of Josh Edmondson machine, Jim Beaver Esports, He's kind of flashing. There he's back again.
Just awaiting
They're
that
on that.
green flag once again from Race Control. Once they're happy with everything, Sean Stratton, actually part of Race Control, he's also racing tonight, will give that green flag. Looks like we have those Pro 2s lined up on that front row, just waiting for Race Control to be happy with everything, and we'll be underway here in the RVD CBD Challenge Cup from Crandon.
Yeah, it looks like a packed house there with all the RVs there getting ready to watch this one unfold with the people watching around the world.
Yeah, one thing's for sure. I'm sure the nerves are still there. You know, they're all knowing what they're getting into here. Oh, and the Pro 2s are off.
All right, I'd like to say it's green, green, green. Here we go. 12 laps to make up the distance
Speaking
as we
of
get ready for the
green,
countdown.
looks like he's got a good run coming out from the outside.
And it looks like it's going to be Edmondson.
Great early lead. That is Josh
Go,
Gaiman
Gaiman.
out in front. Nick Nowak in second. Edmondson riding third. He's going to look to the inside of the 145 for second place. There goes the Pro 4s. They're off and away in the land rush start. And onto the straightaway they go to begin their time. Now, they have 12 laps to catch up to the Pro 2 field. Start making their way up through that one. Will we see a Pro 4 get across the line first, or will it be a Pro 2? We're going to find out in 12 laps time. Edmondson down to the inside now. Going right on by Gary Green in the 15, hugging that inside wall as he completes lap 1.
And I think the real story, too, is also looking at Gaiman. He was just starting to pull away. He's getting out of their distance there. Early on, we saw Nowak on that start slap the side of, looks like the K-rail. He went back a couple of positions, and that allowing Edmondson to get by Green into that second position.
Cross Kirchmeier into the pit lane, wondering what happened here on his Pro 4 start. It looks like he might have tapped that wall there to his right side.
All right,
Yeah,
looks
maybe
A huge
Yeah.
flip as well
Yeah.
from Kirchmeier.
He's hoping for a caution, that's for sure.
And we see a battle there. It looks like, I believe that was Swain going around the 21 there, trying to hunt down Green, looking to the inside there. Drapkin up to third place behind Edmondson, and Gaiman. Where did Zach come from?
Oh, and
The Red
Edmondson
Rocket.
got a good run on the bottom here. We'll see. This might be a drag race over the Walker Evans jump. We'll see. A razor jump be that. Edmondson looking inside. This is going to be a tight corner here. He's pinching him off.
Oh, Gaiman trying to block that door, and he does. He is able to keep Edmondson behind, but for how long can he do that? Where's the next passing opportunity for Edmondson? Sliding it into the corner as they go through the full configuration of Crandon to the inside once more. He's not going to see an opening. He's going to stay behind the 17 as they make their way over the jump and into the hairpin.
Yeah,
Still
this is-
taking a look. Yep, go ahead, sorry.
Good racing. This is not what Edmondson and Gaiman want, though. They want to be checking out, not battling, slowing each other down. So maybe we'll see them cooperate with each other a little bit more and try to gap these Pro 4s for sure.
Well, I think Zach Drapkin is one of those. So we were looking at this, looking at Edmondson goes into the lead there as we look back at the 175 machine. As we go back up and launch this battle here, it looks like Canup starting to move his ways up there in the Pro 4s. Still got Nowak back there, the Pro 2s.
Huge jump from that 77 of Luke Canup. Here comes Cameron Peterson now to the inside. Another Jim Beaver Esports driver, teammates with Josh Edmondson, but they both picked two different styles of pro trucks to drive. Of course, Peterson in the Pro 4s, Edmondson in the Pro 2s. As we take a look at Cameron Peterson on the back bumper of the 77 over the jump, they're going to come across the start-finish line through the final corner. Peterson looking to the outside. He's going to stay right behind the 77. No crossover move from Peterson yet. He's just looking to catch those Pro 2s up ahead. Still no change for the Pro 4 lead. Luke Canup continues to lead the way.
And it looks like Canup got his elbows about 20 feet wider in that turn.
Oh, a good move for second from Zachary Drapkin in the 56. He goes right around the 17 of Joshua Gaiman. Take a look at this replay as he goes into the hairpin, dives it in there, slams the door. What a move for the 56 to go into second place.
Textbook slider by Drapkin.
I was going to say, that's a textbook slide drop right there.
Yeah, that
And
was
look at
awesome.
this, the 17 of Joshua Gaiman right back into second place. These Pro 2s are racing hard up here at the front for second place. Edmondson has checked out from this Pro 2 field. 1.2 seconds the gap there.
And I do believe that Gaiman and Drapkin now are going to get slowed down just a little bit as they continue to battle. Green moving up on the back door of Drapkin there with Swain in tow. Edmondson still out front. Drapkin, no. Look at this, into second. Gaiman back to third.
Man, they are tight coming through their chicane.
Oh.
Nose to tail.
They're still running tight as they make their way into the corner. You can see each of them wanting to go down to the inside, make those moves. That just those doors close so quickly, right as quickly as they're open. And Andrew can attest to this as well. When you're passing in these Pro trucks, especially these Pro 2s, that door can be open 1 second, and the next second it's immediately closed as Green goes down to the inside of the 17.
Looks like Green was trying to do the same thing as Drapkin was.
Yeah, for sure. We got a big drag racer all trying to get a big run out of that corner.
Oh, he throws the block. Contact between the two.
Man, this is great racing.
And that's what we want to see is tight racing right now. As we look at our first Pro 4, Luke Knupp trying to hold off Cam Peterson in that General Tire machine. Those Generals digging deep.
Yeah, Cam giving him all kinds of pressure. Looking inside over the barn turn. Gonna try to get a run on him down into the gravel pit.
I think he was trying to see the embroidery on the inside of his driving suit there. He was right up on him.
Yeah. Oh,
he's
right,
still
right
on
against
in
him.
contact between the two once more for the Pro 4 lead. Will Peterson go down to the inside here in the final corner? No, he does not. So Luke Knupp going to keep the lead once more. Look at this. The 14 of James Ambrosius joining the fight. 3-horse battle now for the Pro 4 lead.
Yeah, Ambrosius really starting to move up there, trying to get in that mix. Type 3 Pro 4s as we're watching the action unfold. Here, Peterson in the General Tire machine. He is the filling between Knupp now and Ambrosius.
Speaking of filling, it's about to get even tighter as these guys catch these Pro 2s coming up. It's already nose to tail. You throw a couple two-wheel drives in there, it's going to get pretty rowdy.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get physical out there, I have a feeling, as we get up into the mix.
And you can see those track map on the right side of your screen, viewers, and you can see just how quickly those Pro 4s are catching up. The Pro 4s are denoted by that yellow number. If their number is yellow, that means that they are in a Pro 2 or Pro 4 truck. The blue means they are in the Pro 2 class. And you can see the last of the Pro 2s right now, Nick Nowak on the track in the 145, is about half a corner now ahead of the Pro 4s. They are coming like a freight train as they make their way back into the final corner. You can see just how quickly over the jump the 77 of Knupp is. Peterson still right behind the top three, gonna go right on by Nowak, and the first Pro 2 truck is gonna be eaten alive by the Pro 4s.
Well, I was going to say he had a whole lot of them in his rearview mirror, but not anymore. This is going to be now looking out his side window at him. Knupp, though, trying to do everything he can to stay clean, though. That's the key.
I feel like I got deja vu going on. I feel like I've been here before. It's not a good feeling being caught by the Pro 4s because you're pretty helpless going down the straightaways.
And you
Almost
just
made
can't put, you
contact
can't
right
mash.
to the hairpin as well as he goes out of the way now, passed by the top three.
And one of those things with the Pro 2, you just can't mash because then you're just spinning tires.
Yeah, you're kind of, once they are on your rear bumper, it's kind of over.
Throttle control, everything.
Man, speaking of that, look at Edmondson way out front. He's really putting a good show on. Got Drapkin keeping him honest, about 2.5 seconds back, but it's looking good for Josh.
I got to say, very impressed with Zach Drapkin. He's had a great run this year. A little controversial. He wasn't so much in the points lead, but he is now pretty much taken the last couple of podiums from the top runners there, and now really showing his wherewithal in this race here for RVD CBD.
And Edmondson's lead is about 2 seconds ahead of Zachary Drapkin right now. So Edmondson completely checked out in the lead. And you can also see on my colleague and producer tonight, Austin Knight likes to call him, the dancing dots of doom on the right side. The Pro 2s are still ahead of the Pro 4s, but you can see that in the top 3 now catching up to more Pro 2s up ahead. And you can see it's a whole swarm of Pro 2s up ahead. Here come the Pro 4s with 6 laps to go. They've caught up to the tail end of the Pro 2 field, and here they come. They want to get out in front, but the main question I'm having is, if they get by all the Pro 2s, can they get by Edmondson? What a leap from Canup.
Canup thinking he's Kyle Duke trying to bat that thing in sideways. Just flying that machine.
He is trying everything he can. He's got a lot of pressure from behind, throwing sliders and everything.
That slider worked too. He goes right on by Tyson Miller, the next Pro 2 truck now eaten alive by the Pro 4s.
His sights now set on Fox. Canup up to 7th place at this point. But 5 laps to go on this big full course here at Crandon International Raceway.
Looks like Cameron latched on to Luke. Yeah, the worst thing could happen is get a truck between the two of them in a corner. He's doing everything he can to stay right with Luke. Hopefully makes a bobble, and then you know, Cameron will be right there to capitalize on it. But you know, a lot of moving parts here, a lot of other trucks hitting in front of you and banging and all that. You got to drive with your eyes up and try to stay out of the carnage for sure.
As we watch Swain and Gaiman getting physical, banging on each other there.
They were getting very physical coming out of that hairpin. You can see now the 17 of Joshua Gaiman and the 21 of Swain. They were just battling. Now they are going to be overtaken by more Pro 4 trucks as Gaiman gets into the wall in the 17 on the outside. 5 laps to go. Edmondson leads, but now the only Pro 2s that remain are Gary Green, Zachary Drapkin, and Josh Edmondson. And there's only about 4 seconds separating those 3 trucks. These Pro 4s are here, and they want to get that overall win. You can see Edmondson in that camera shot right there trying to run away, but I don't think he has much time left.
And I know Andrew brought it up earlier, is trying to keep somebody from getting in between Canup and Peterson. Peterson right up on Canup, not letting any room so somebody can slide in there.
Side by side now for the Pro 4 lead. That's Cameron Peterson. He looked to the left side of the 77 of Canup. Now going to give him a little bump draft as they go over the jump and into the hairpin. Is this where he decides to go for the lead? Yes, it is. Peterson dives it up the inside. They're side by side out of the hairpin. Canup gets the better launch off with the lapped cars in front. Gary Green, they move him out of the way for the Pro 2s. Making contact is Green with your Pro 4 leader. Here comes Peterson now to the right side.
Green just could not hold that inside line there. Canup able to get by that Pro 4, showing how it can pull him out. Oh, Canup getting a little loose. Here we go. Peterson side by side. He has the inside line. Do we have a pass? Here we go.
Try to make that pass work on the inside. It looks like he might have. Gary Green dived it in there to avoid them. And here comes Cameron Peterson. Now on the outside of Luke Canup going through the final corner. 3 laps to go now from Crandon. Canup keeps the lead, but not for long. Here comes Peterson. They're still side by side. Peterson tries to close the door. Can't do it just yet. The 77 still leads, but there's Peterson.
Oh, Peterson's over.
Peterson's over.
Oh!
Luke getting into Cameron a little bit there. Man, this is going to get interesting too with Zach coming up in front of him. Replay coming up here.
Up and over goes Cameron Peterson. You can see that lip there on the grass sends him over onto his lid. And he towed it back to the pit lane. What an ending for Cameron Peterson. He had an insanely fast truck.
Yeah, tough break for sure.
And now Luke Canup goes into the pits, into the 77. He stopped on the side of the road and towed it back to the pit lane. New leader for the Pro 4s, James Ambrosius.
Yeah, Josh Edmondson just got a little bit of a gift there. He just bought himself a couple more laps, so he's checked out, but he's probably a little happy now.
Now the question is, will Ambrosius be able to hold him as he fights there? Green trying to fight him as he looks to the inside. Ambrosius puts the hammer down, up and over the razor jump here as they go around Calamity Corner. So Ambrosius, the first Pro 4 out there. Drapkin and Edmondson, like you mentioned earlier, the lone Pro 2s in front.
And those two are the only two now above water, so to speak, as Ambrosius sits third overall, about a solid 4/10 behind the 56, and you can see him trying to catch up now. And they send it into the hairpin. A little bit of a blink from the 56. Back on the racetrack goes Drapkin. But you can see the real difference between the Pro 2s and the Pro 4s. Just the run they get coming off of the corners. The Pro 2 gets a good run. The Pro 4 gets a great run as the 14 all over the back end of the 56. He's going to go right on around, or attempt to at least, still side by side. There goes the 14 up into second. Now he has 2.6 seconds in between him and Josh Edmondson, but the white flag is going to come out this time by. Can Edmondson win the overall in the Pro 2s, or will James Ambrosius be successful in the Pro 4s?
Oh, somebody forgot to point out Connor Berry. He has now been quiet. The CBR performance driver slowly sneaking his way up into that third position, right behind Ambrosius. Edmondson, he's going to be feeling the heat, but here comes Barry, dropping back to fourth, Green in fifth.
Like we talked about earlier, it looked like Drapkin changed his line a little bit. Looked like he changed his line a little bit to block Barry, and it did not work. He lost a lot of momentum, and Barry slipped right by him.
Yeah, you said you can't really, put that Pro 2 down and block because it's just going to bite you, and it did bite him.
And they're reeling in Josh. This is going to be right down to the wire here. We'll see what kind of run the Pro 2 gets out of the corner.
Well, the white flag is out here. This next time around, the checkered will come out. The question will. Edmondson, no, it's going to be Ambrosius going into the lead there. Edmondson not giving it up easy.
Here comes Edmondson now on the 58 to the inside. Does he have anything to say to the 14 of James Ambrosius? And does Connor Berry have anything to say for the overall win? The 14 using that four-wheel drive, powers right on around the outside. Now Connor Berry has to get by Edmondson if he wants a chance to win it. 2 corners to go before they take that checkered flag. Around the outside goes Ambrosius in the 14, and he's going to come over the razor jump and into the final corner looking for the checkered.
Oh, Barry's going to dive down to the bottom. Drag race finish. Oh, looks like Josh held on to the second spot. What a great race. Came down the last lap there. What a run by Ambrosius.
I got to say, James Ambrosius, congratulations. Awesome job. Josh Edmondson, incredible for a Pro 2. But Connor Berry, just quiet back there, kind of snuck up into it and put that CBR performance machine on the box to finish it out here to the RVD CBD Challenge Cup here from Crandon International Raceway, beautiful Wisconsin.
And a great finish there too, as it was a drag race coming to the finish between Edmondson and Barry, but it was Josh Edmondson. And you mentioned it, Dave, a great run from Edmondson in the Pro 2s. He held off those Pro 4s for
incredible
but 1 lap, all but 3 corners, so to speak, as well. So it was a great drive from Edmondson. Andrew, you can attest to this. I don't think he has anything to be sad about in this one. That was an epic drive from Edmondson.
No, he did exactly what he needed to do. He got up front early and kept the mistakes to a minimum, kept it on all 4, and it ended up coming down to the stopwatch at the end of the day. But and even that, you can't even complain. It came down to the last few corners. What a great race, and it was totally fun to watch.
And one of those things that didn't come out is the old nasty caution to re-rack and restack them there, so you didn't have to worry about that too.
Yeah, it was
in real
great
life.
Racing.
Oh, incredible. Talk about some of the closest racing actions we've seen. Very clean. Unfortunate what happened, early on with Luke. And, I got to say that was a bummer for Cam Peterson. But, man, nevertheless, a very entertaining race tonight. So it was James Ambrosius, Josh Edmondson, Connor Berry rounding out a podium, Zach Drapkin, Gary Green, Keaton Swain, Taylor Bush, Joshua Gaiman, Bodie Grier and Josh Fox, the top 10, with William Booth, Tyson Miller, Mikey Lawrence, Nick Nowak, Cameron Pedersen, Cole Ashlack, Cross Kirchmeyer, and Sean Stratton. And Luke Knapp, unfortunately, bringing it up, have to go in the pits.
And we have post-race interviews coming up here in the post-race show from the virtual Crandon International Raceway. And it looks like we're going to start with Connor Berry, second place finisher in the Pro 2s. And Connor, a great day for you out here. And it was kind of a little bit of a late start for you and a late run to that finish, because in the Pro 4 class, we didn't really talk about you all day. And then you showed up second place in the Pro 4s there on the final lap.
Yeah, I was definitely not as fast towards the start, but towards the end, I started to get some speed and I started to reel in James, and then Cam and Luke. I'm not sure what went on there. Then those two went to the back, and then I was the second Pro 4, and with one lap to go, I was sitting in third. I tried to make the move on Josh inside the last turn, but could not. I came up close, but could not get there.
We got a really good shot on the broadcast of the train changing track. How much were those track changes behind the wheel of your Pro 4 truck? Did you feel that track changing every lap, or was it just kind of like you were running another practice session, another qualifying in the way the track changed?
Yeah, I could definitely feel the track change, and I could feel it in my tune. I actually I have my tune set for it to grip towards the end, and I feel like that's where I could gain my time, was towards the end. I mean, it kind of hurt me towards the beginning because I was pretty far back, so I definitely need to work on that, but it was still fun.
Are you looking forward for the next time we get to do the Challenge Cup here on Racecraft TV? It looked like a lot of fun up here in the broadcast booth.
Oh yeah, but I think I might try a Pro 2. I think those might be better.
Which you didn't think anybody would say tonight.
Right?
Well, thank you so much for joining us up here in the broadcast booth, Connor. Anybody else you would like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank CBR, Sparko, Rocket, and all of my friends and family and iRacing Short Course.
Thank you very much for joining us. That was Connor Berry, second place finisher of the Pro 4 class and the third place finisher overall on the racetrack. And it looks like joining us next is going to be Josh Edmondson, driver of the 58 and Pro 2 class winner. But unfortunately, second place overall. Josh, you could not get that overall win worked out.
Nope, just a little bit too slow, I guess. I made a couple mistakes. Maybe if I didn't make a couple of those little mistakes, I might have been able to stay ahead of James. But it's just that timing of it. They're coming with so much speed and they're so much faster. So nothing really I could do about it.
Yeah, we talked about it during the broadcast, but you did everything you could. You got out front early, you ran clean laps, and at the end of the day, when they get to your rear bumper, it's kind of up to the Pro 4s at that point. So you had ran a great race, and how was the track conditions changing out there? Did it get more challenging as the race went on in the Pro 2?
Sure. The track wears in and it starts to slick off and you see those blue groove spots, and the Pro 2 really slows down and the Pro 4 actually continues to get faster through those points. So that was really challenging to just keep hitting my marks and trying to run consistent laps. Like I said, I made a couple mistakes towards the end there when the track was slicking off, and it was good though. I felt really good. It was great to be out front of the Pro 2s and kind of put a little gap there for a little bit and try and run away with it. But yeah, I'm happy with second overall. It was good.
Well, Josh, got to ask you about that, as I know Connor touched on a little bit. The tune setup he had a little bit slow at the beginning, but I got to tell you, yours looked like it was spot on the entire time. Were you taking into a little bit of thought of the setup?
Yeah, I grinded a bunch of sessions, worked on my teammate Cameron and I. Unfortunately something happened to him in the Pro 4. I'm not sure, but we go back and forth working on setups together in the Pro 4s and the Pro 2s. So we've got these trucks working really good.
Yeah, it looked like overall it was very, very consistent.
Yeah, that's the big thing I try to do in the Pro 2. I preach that it's being consistent is the best thing. So I try really,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us up here in the broadcast booth. Josh, anybody else you would like to thank here on Racecraft TV?
Yeah, definitely just shout out you guys putting this on. Excited to go back and watch it. And then everybody else at the Jim Beaver Esports team, Fistful of Bourbon, Dirtfish, GSP XTV Axles, Polaris Razor, Gibson Performance, Rigid Industries, General Tire, '07 Designs, Sans Fabrication, and Chris Leone's Motorsport Drop.
Thank you so much, Josh Edmondson, first place finisher of the Pro 2 class and second place overall on the racetrack for the RVD CBD Challenge Cup. Final interview, and it is your overall winner and Pro 4 class winner, James Ambrosius. James, welcome to the broadcast booth. Great race behind the wheel of that number 14.
Wow.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. First cup race I've been a part of, so it was kind of a learning experience and obviously high intensity and a lot of fun.
James, I got to ask you, with everything unfolding in front of you, we watching with Peterson and, of course, Canup going at it there pretty much when they're out of the picture. Did that change your focus?
I knew the Pro 2s were going to be coming and that was going to tighten things up. So I tried to stay patient. I didn't want to get into either of those guys. I know they were racing really close and I knew Connor was behind me. So adding one more to the mix was only going to slow us down trying to catch the P2s. So I knew it was coming. I didn't know the wreck was coming, obviously, but I knew the Pro 2s were coming and that was going to tighten things up. So it's unfortunate for those two that they did get together and that's the way it played out. But
sometimes that's going to be a big relief off your shoulders watching, okay, there goes my competition. Let's put the hammer down.
Absolutely. Those are two of the best guys on the sim that race off road. So to see those two both go barreling down, that was definitely some weight off my shoulders. And I knew I just had.
You're saying a small smile came across your face.
Yeah, it was a big smile. I hate to see it for those guys. I know they put in a lot of time. And
understandable.
Like I said, two of the best on the sim.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate to see that, but sometimes it plays out that way.
Yep. Sometimes better to be lucky than good too.
I hear you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here in the broadcast booth, James. Anybody else you would like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife. She's the one that lets me put in the time and learning these setups so I can do my best to keep up with some of these guys that are on here day in and day out. I want to thank my mom and dad. I know they're both watching, and my brother Jake. Those are the ones who are usually tuning in to check it out. I do want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. I think it was RVD CBD that put on the event. I want to thank those guys, and obviously Josh Edmondson and his team for putting on this entire event. It was really fun.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, James Ambrosius, your overall winner and your Pro 4 class winner here in the RVD CBD Challenge Cup. Dave, what a race from the virtual Crandon. It was nonstop action from start to finish, and we saw a great race to the checkered flag when it was all said and done.
Well, having you and Josh and Andrew involved with this is incredible. Andrew brings the perspective of being a driver, being in these situations. But it is amazing how iRacing has nailed the way the track is, the way it handles. A lot of the real drivers talk about it. So bringing that realistic and taking a win out of here for James has got to be incredible because, like he said, some of the best he just beat.
And it was just overall a great race, and I'm looking forward to the next one because it seems like every time we see the Challenge Cup, we see something different happen, especially with the Pro 2s being caught by the Pro 4s. It seems like this time, especially, the Pro 2s were putting up a lot more of a fight, in my opinion, from the Pro 4s. We only saw one Pro 4 get by the Pro 2 leader of Josh Edmondson. I thought we were going to see 3, 4, maybe even 5, maybe even the whole field of Pro 4s get by, but
I agree.
The Pro 2s are getting more competitive. They're starting to learn these racetracks, and I'm throwing it out there, hoping Josh Edmondson hear this next Challenge Cup at the Bark River Circuit. That is going to be incredible. Absolutely, and looking forward to it. And hopefully, I don't know if one day we might be seeing ERX on here. Oh, hopefully. And Rallycross is already amazing in the sim, and maybe seeing a Pro 2 Light versus Rallycross Challenge Cup on one of the Rallycross circuits. Edmondson, put that on the schedule. That's going to be an exciting one.
Definitely, and I want to see more tracks be added, because with the addition of Bark River, if we can get, I'd say 2 or 3 more of these short course tracks with the series and challenge cups, it's only going to make it for better.
Oh, and new circuits are always welcome on iRacing as well. Now that we are expanding that short course lineup of, now we have Wild Horse, Wild West, Crandon, and Bark River. There's so many great short course tracks that iRacing is itching to get scanning. And of course, the COVID-19 pandemic put a little bit of a delay on their scanning, but they're getting back to it. The Chicago Street Course coming up is one that they scanned during the pandemic, and they're starting to update tracks more. Bark River, of course, now a part of the service. There's going to be a lot more short course action here, and hopefully a short course world championship soon. Rallycross has got one in the dirt road side, and I want to see some of the best in the virtual world of short course go racing head to head. If we have this lineup in a world championship, all in Pro 2s or Pro 4s, that is going to be one of the best things on the iRacing sim, and great for short course as well. The virtual world gives back to the real world, and if we see a world championship here on iRacing, it is just going to get more and more exciting for both real life and virtual.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I guess, folks, got to thank you all for turning into Racecraft TV. Of course, has been, again, the RVD CBD Challenge Cup. For myself, Dave Arnold, Josh Lee, and of course, Andrew Carlson. We'll see you all next time on the Virtual Dirt.
This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.